objective today is to convert, which we know means to change. So to convert between metric and imperial units of length. So we're only working with units of measure involved in length today. But we've got these two words, metric and imperial. And you might know what they mean. Hopefully you know what they mean from the previous lesson. So metric is quite easy to remember because of the letter M, okay? And these are units of measure like millimeters, M, centimeters, meters, and kilometers. Okay, so metric, when we're thinking about length, we've got that letter M. Imperial, there's not really a pattern to it, okay, but we do have inches, which begins with I, imperial, inches. We have feet, which you were looking at yesterday. We have yards, and we have miles. Now, what you have to do today is you have to be able to convert these into these, and vice versa, these into these. But don't worry, because I'm going to show you how to do it. Right, I want you to pause the video and go and get a ruler if you haven't got one already. So pause, go find a ruler, go. Right, I have got a tape measure because the ruler I was using was rubbish, because what I want you to look at is the centimetres and the inches. Normally rulers have both. I'm using my tape measure because it has both. Now,
show the camera.
Hang on. If we zoom in, now you're wobbling the camera. If we zoom in, we can see that here at the top is 1 inch. And I think on the video yesterday, it said it was about the size of your knuckle to your thumb. I've got quite big fingers, long fingers, piano playing fingers. But that's about 1 inch. And you can see, hopefully, that it is 2.5 centimetres. Approximately. It's not quite. It's a tiny, tiny bit bigger than 2.5 centimetres. So have a look at your ruler, see if you can find 1 inch and how it's very, very close to 2.5 centimetres. So I'm going to write our conversion fact here. And we know from looking at our ruler or a tape measure that 1 inch is equal to 2.5 centimetres, 2.5 centimetres. But I did say a minute ago that it's not exactly, is it? So actually, the equal sign isn't the right sign to use for this. Instead, we use a kind of wavy equal sign like this. There we go. And it means 1 inch is approximately 2.5 centimetres. It's not exact, but it's pretty much 2.5 centimetres. Okay, and this is the fact you're going to use throughout the lesson. Okay, what I would like you to do now is to find 3 objects around your house. I've chosen these 3, but you can choose any 3, but don't make them too big. And then I want you to measure each item in centimetres, which you'll be quite familiar with. And then I want you to measure them in inches as well, okay? If they're between 2 inches, just go to the nearest inch, okay? So pause the video and go and measure your 3 items in centimetres and inches. Okay, so here's our conversion fact that we're going to use throughout the lesson. 1 inch is approximately 2.5 centimetres. Now, when we've been converting in previous lessons, we've been using the steps to success about whether the units of measure are getting bigger or smaller, and then we're using our magic number. We're not going to do that today. We're going to do it a little bit differently. And actually, we're going to find a shortcut. Okay. So, if 1 inch is approximately 2.5 centimetres. If we know that 1 inch is approximately 2.5 centimetres, how can we work out what 2 inches are? Well, 2 inches is double 1 inch. So we can just double 2.5 centimetres, which gives us 5 centimetres. So it's a little shortcut there. If we're working out 10 inches, if we know that 1 inch is 2.5, how are we going to work out what 10 inches are? So let's write it down. We've got 1 inch is 2.5 centimetres, therefore 10 inches. So think about what you've done to 1 inch to get to 10 inches. You've timesed it by 10. So then you should be able to work out what 10 inches is equivalent to. Why don't you pause the video now and see if you can work it out. Okay, hopefully you've worked out that 10 inches is 10 times 2.5, which is 25 centimetres. And from that, you can work out what 20 inches is. Think about what you would do to 10 inches to get 20 inches. You can work out what 5 inches is. And then think about how you'd work out what 25 inches is. There could be a few different ways of doing it. So I want you to pause the video now, leave this on the screen and see if you can work out the answers for 5 inches, 20 inches and 25. And then come back and we'll go through them. Okay, so hopefully you've done that. So if we know that 10 inches is 25 centimetres, we can halve it to work out 5 inches because 5 inches is half of 10 inches. So 5 inches is equivalent to 12.5 centimetres, 12 and a half. 20 inches will be double 10 inches. So doubling 25 centimetres gives us 50 centimetres. And then 25, you can do this a couple of ways. You could do 2.5 times 25. That's a little bit tricky with decimals and whole numbers. You could do 5 inches times 5. Or you could add together 20 inches and 5 inches. 20 add 5 is 25. So you could do 50, add 12.5, which gives you 62 and a half centimetres. Okay, so no magic number today, just shortcuts using this conversion fact. Okay, so we know that 1 inch is approximately 2.5 centimetres. How big is 1 centimetre in terms of inches? I want you to look at your ruler, find 1 centimetre. Mine's rubbish on here because it's got the silver bit on it. But look at your ruler, go to 1 centimetre, try and work out what 1 centimetre is equivalent to. Okay, so 1 centimetre is approximately 0.4 inches. Okay, so you've got 2 conversion facts here, 1 from inches to centimetres and 1 from centimetres to inches. Now, using those shortcuts, using your magic maths, your times table knowledge, I want you to fill in the rest of this table. Okay, I'm going to do one for you. I'm going to do the 2 centimetre one. So if 1 centimetre is 0.4, I'm going to double it to get 2 centimetres. So 2 centimetres is approximately 0.8 inches. Okay, so I want you to look at this, I want you to pause the screen and I want you to try and work out what these gaps are. Be careful with this one. Okay, just use the ones you've already done to make that one. Okay, so pause it now and have a go. Okay, now I might do them in a different order to you, but let's see if we've got the same answers. So, if I know what 2 centimetres is, I can double it to get 4 centimetres. So I'm doubling 0.8. I know what double 8 is, so I get 1.6 inches. I'm going to skip 5 centimetres for a minute. Now 10 centimetres is a nice one. It's 10 times 1 centimetre, so I just times this by 10. We know how to do that. It's 4 inches. Okay, 12 centimetres. I'm just going to add 2 centimetres and 10 centimetres together, because 10 add 2 is 12. So I get 4.8 inches. 20 centimetres, I'm just going to double 10 centimetres, that's a nice one. 8, ooh, I nearly wrote centimetres then, inches. 5, what would be a quick way of doing it? I could do 5 times 0.4. Oh, I could halve 10 centimetres, that's a nice easy one. I know what half of 4 is. 2 inches, okay. And 31. I could do 0.4 times 31, or I could add 20, 10 and 1. That would work, because 20, 10 and 1 is 31. So 8, add 4 is 12, add 0.4, 12.4 inches. Okay, so now you're ready to have a go at the questions. So you need to click on the document, I think it's called Units of Length, but just double check on Google Classrooms, and then choose your challenge from 1 star, 2 stars or 3 stars. The questions are like this, where you're using shortcuts, times tables, magic maths to convert. But then the questions change into some questions about seedlings, okay, seeds and plants and growing. So stop when you get to the seed questions, go back to the original PowerPoint that you did at the beginning, go through that, then have a go at the seed questions, okay? So it's questions, PowerPoint, seed questions. And then, if you fancy it, there are some extra challenge questions on the PowerPoint as well. Hopefully that makes sense, and good luck. Have fun converting.